Canby to the Canby Urban Renewal Agency Special Meeting, October 10th, 2012. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence for our troops overseas. Thank you. Okay, we have citizen input on non-agenda items. Anybody that would like to come up and address the commission on items that are not on the agenda, please come on forward, or if you have a yellow card, please get it to Sue. Seeing nobody jumping up, we'll go to consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we pass the consent agenda minutes of the September 12, 2012 URA Agency Special Meeting.
I'll second that.
And moved by Commissioner Daniels and seconded by Commissioner Hodson to adopt the consent agenda minutes from the September 12, 2012 URD Agency Special Meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0, 6-0, excuse me. Okay, resolutions?
Yeah, thank you. Last week, except for one of your members who wasn't here, the IGA for the council was passed, and this is identical to that. And basically, this is just saying that the Urban Renewal Agency can provide tax increment financing to the city for the payment of bonds for the library, the bridge, and other projects.
Correct.
So that's all it's saying. Just
Okay, this is basically not a rehash, but just we have to do it in two different agencies to make it legal for the state and all that.
And did this for the police station last year.
All right,
Same,
okay.
Same issue.
A motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move we pass the resolutions and ordinances of URR 12-013 approving an IGA with the City of Canby regarding the transfer of tax increment revenues and proceeds to the city for the purpose of paying obligation bond financing.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Daniels and seconded by Commissioner Parker to adopt resolution number URR 12-013, a resolution of the City of Canby Urban Renewal Agency, Clackamas County, Oregon, approving of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Canby, Clackamas County, Oregon, regarding the transfer of tax increment revenues and proceeds to the city for the purpose of paying obligation bond financing. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 6-0. Okay, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, we get that out of the way. Now we go to new business.
I'll give a short update on the library city hall facilities. We have advertised and had a pre-bid meeting on the, pre-response meeting on the project manager, and we had like 19 people show up for that meeting, so there's a lot of interest in this project. And the architectural engineering A&E RFP went out to RFQ, actually a request for qualification went out and was published, I believe, today in the Daily Journal of Commerce. Those are due in on the 31st of October, and so things are moving right along. And I think we're going to have a lot of interest on that, too.
So that's basically for architectural drawings, or is this?
Yeah, for the architectural, just for the library.
Okay, just for the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, of course, Kurt McLeod's already done the ones for the bridge, so,
Right.
But the library, city hall facilities, that, like I said, that was published, I believe, today in the Daily Journal of
So
Commerce.
then you'll look at the different people that put in for that one, and then after we've assigned somebody or we've picked somebody, then we'll have a couple of open meetings to kind of talk about what it really should look like. Is that the
Yeah,
base?
that's exactly right. There will be, just like with the police, there were several design meetings with the police station, a lot of public input, so we'll do the same
So
process.
it's not this is not a done deal that the architect is drawing something and we're going to go with it immediately. We are asking for public input.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
everybody
Yep.
can have their 2 cents worth.
Yep,
Great.
Maybe 4 cents, so.
Okay.
So we have a little
Inflation.
more interest in project management if we give people more than 4.5 months to do something.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Seems to be a few more people interested in this than the First Avenue.
Yeah, there was a lot of interest in this, and I think there will be in the architectural too, so.
Great.
Bring 'em on.
I'd like to say also, First Avenue's moving right along, and we should, it worked out. We ordered that rain didn't come until the end of October, and
Right.
we should get the last paving done this week, and that is a real bonus.
Get the
Supposed to
paving, then
dump
we've
bad
got,
for
yeah,
I know. So, like I said, we ordered this.
right. And then a little bit of concrete work left to fill in where the power poles are going to be removed
Right.
in the next, that's in the next week or so too, right?
That should be in the next week.
Okay, I got a nod from Canby Utility
Oh,
Board
good.
to say that project is on track to get that done also. So that'll make it look a lot better, and I think everybody will really be pleased with the way it looks and some trees.
Yep.
Well,
I understand that the power's given to all the different businesses along there, so next week they're gonna take the poles out. And I asked today, this is when they turn the street lights on, well, it won't be too long. I think that'd be nice to have a party or dedication that night, and so somebody can throw the switch and see the new lights on. What those lights are gonna look like is exactly like the one you see over on this corner of, the cafe over here. Public Works have taken the one, the kind of the mercury vapor is down the street here, and they're running a test one over here, so you can see, get some evaluation, what you think of it. Took my wife down and we started saying, well, let's go down and look by the theater. Never realized that that's the same thing, but the thing is, it's a different type of lighting, and it's not this glow that you're looking at bright ball all the time. So, but they're expensive to refurbish, but they last 7 years or something like that. So I don't know how many they're going to do, but anyway, at night you can see the difference. Daytime is still glass, the same, but I think this is really a milestone of getting rid of those poles, and when they get the lights on, I think that's going to look beautiful. So,
is there any chance, go ahead.
No, for you,
I
sir.
was going to say, would the lights be on by first Friday in November, or is that pushing it too much? I'm just trying to, I just wonder if it worked out for doing something together with First Friday, or if we'd rather have us stand alone. What you guys kind of brainstorm a little bit, think about what we can do to, I think we definitely want to have a First Avenue party when we get this thing done,
oh, yeah.
so.
But one of the things, if they take the poles down, then that takes the streetlights down too. So you're going to have,
Right, but I just said we'd have to make sure everything is powered up and ready to go before we'd want to do that, so
Yeah.
maybe,
Did I hear the
December-
poles are coming down next week?
I'm thinking the week
Because First Friday's
just coming around
Yeah, that's
like
right
the
around the corner.
5th or something,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So,
Or the
yeah.
4th or
fourth, yeah,
the 2nd.
second, right? So maybe that's pushing it
was
too
for-
much. I just wasn't sure if the timing would work, if
Yeah,
not,
campaign brain.
okay, probably a little push to get that early, but we'll leave staff to work through some details. We'll definitely want to party. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna, that, you pretty much asked my question in terms of just, if, I think having, as Commissioner Daniel said, some sort of a kickoff shindig for First Avenue would be good. I don't know what conversation, I've been gone for a week and a half, what conversation between Chamber and Main Street have occurred. I think maybe saving it for the light the night
I just
tree
didn't know if
lighting
that would be too much
parade
to
and
have
whatnot
two
on,
things, but it might work out just
might
as
work
good
out on
there,
that,
yeah.
so a little bit more time to get things
maybe this would be
transitioned.
too close to the opening of it, but I don't know when if they're going to have set a deadline when they're going to have this completely landscaped.
I don't think it's going to be close to the end of the month. I
Okay,
mean, they're
all
supposed,
right.
there's to be a few punch lists, but they just
Okay.
better be getting stuff in.
The December timeframe is much, probably
be
much
out on
better
Halloween
work
waiting
through,
to-
yeah. Okay,
That's right.
staff, let you guys work with the chamber and see where we can go with that one. Okay, Greg, you want to do who's doing urban renewal update?
I've got it
Is
as
that
part
it?
of mine, so.
Okay, go ahead, please.
for the First Avenue update, so we'll get to that towards the end of the report. The October 5th First Friday program and Cash Mob was a success. We had 14 businesses that participated, and all of the businesses were really happy with the amount of traffic that we had down here. There was a little question as to whether or not we would have a lot of people because it was the homecoming at the high school, but we had quite a few people, live music, retail specials, a fundraiser, and some more great things. The place to be was the Cash Mob this time. They featured a table right when you walked in that had treats and wine and things for $10 that you could pay for in cash, or they also welcomed guests to stay and have a bite to eat, listen to the music that they had there. The November 2nd will be the next First Friday. As far as the website and social media goes, I've continued to update our website so that it has pertinent, up-to-date information. And we are using Facebook as a tool to reach out to business owners within Canby, the downtown, within all of Canby, and then people that are just interested in learning things that are going on. We currently have 536 likes as of this afternoon. Our promotions committee met on September 24th for the first time. We decided as a committee that one of the things that we wanted to work on first was adding to the Halloween festivities that already go on. Although I was not here last Halloween, I heard that lots of kids come down to trick or treat. A family does the haunted house in the Alice in Wonderland. Parsons takes pictures. And so we're just trying to add to that by working on a poster that will talk about everything that's happening within the downtown that day. Doing a window decorating display and a costume contest for business owners. Parsons' costume contest is targeted more towards children. Halloween music, which one of our volunteers is working on getting that set up with OCTS. Crossing guards at the 3 major intersections, Elm, Grant, and Ivy. And then a parade that will worm its way through the downtown with those trick-or-treaters so that hopefully the trick-or-treaters and their families can see all of the great things that downtown Canby has to offer. The other thing that made it onto the list that the promotions committee is looking to revise, or at least ask for a visit to the ordinance that prohibits alcohol on public property in Canby. A lot of other downtowns and other cities have ordinances that allow alcohol at special events via a permitting process through city council. If it's a special event, there are several different levels, I guess, for these special events. And so we're working with the city attorney, and we're hoping to bring that to the November 7th city council meeting for you guys. So look forward to that. The Canby Main Street program and the Canby Chamber of Commerce is working again to partner together for the 2nd annual Best of Canby season showcase. Featured businesses focus on things that are needed for a successful holiday event. So a venue, catering, entertainment. The event will be held in conjunction with the November 2nd First Friday program at the Antonia Ballroom, which is right above Canby Pub, from 4 to 8 p.m. Continuing with the outreach for First Avenue, we've continued with the face-to-face contact with the business owners. So there's open lines of communication, and then attending the weekly construction meetings. And most of the bigger projects have been wrapped up. So right now it's just kind of tying it up with a bow, and hopefully it will be done very soon. I attended the Main Street Conference last week from October 3rd to the October 5th, which offered workshops, gave tools, best practices, and is a great networking opportunity. They have it once a year. I believe it's always in October, and people affiliated with the Main Street, like yourselves, are more than welcome to come. And I think it's just a great way to learn about what other communities are doing with their Main Street programs, and how we can continue and expand ours. The Economic Restructuring Committee is still gaining steam. We have the information from Mary Bosch, who gave us the retail market analysis. And so we're trying to get all of that information together so that we can call a meeting and start to meet and find some ways to work on that economic restructuring. The thing I thought was very interesting from the Main Street Conference, as a little side note, is that one of the speakers talked about how many people have called the economic restructuring committees economic development. And lots of people raise their hands that that's something that they've been doing. But all 4 committees fall under economic development. And so just assigning that task to one committee makes it seem a little bit too large for that committee, and it really takes away from the projects that the other committees are working on. So I thought that was a nice little tidbit. The banners for 99E have been completed, and our Public Works Department is coordinating with the Oregon Department of Transportation so that we can have those put up. It's kind of a process, and so we're trying to make sure that to maximize time, that they didn't have to fix the ones that were up there and then put new ones up. So that should be happening, I think, within the next month, hopefully sooner than that. The banners will have, where the downtown is, different colors and say things like taste, experience, mingle, and downtown can be at Elm, Grant, and Ivy. And then the First Avenue construction update. The construction continues on schedule for First Avenue. The planters and art plinths have been completed. Irrigation between Elm and Grant has been installed and is still underway between Grant and Ivy. The parking lot paving between Grant and Ivy is tentatively planned for paving on Thursday, October 11th, so that would be tomorrow. And then installation of the sidewalk between the parking lot and First Avenue is underway. And they said that the electrical conversion should happen next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
So on the economic development front, I can report a couple of business assistance and outreach successes. We met with JV Northwest last week. They are looking to not expand their building, but expand their workforce. They want to add 20 new people, well-paying jobs with benefits over the course of the next 6 months. They'll be partnering with the Clackamas Community College to do a customized training program around welding and metals fabrication, which would happen on site. And that hopefully will be the beginning of an ongoing partnership to make sure that their workforce is trained and knows exactly what they need to do for that company. So that's JV Northwest has been a longstanding company, and they continue to grow. One of our metals manufacturers, traded sector, they export beer and wine metal tanks all over the world. So. Also, I followed up with Kendall Floral. I had talked with them at the Chamber's recommendation this summer and offered assistance. And they have moved forward in converting about a third of their warehouse into additional refrigeration space. And they've signed a contract with Driscoll to use that space for 3 or 4 months a year, which is a downtime for them anyway, for 5 years. So that's a commitment that they will be here for at least 5 years and have an additional revenue source. So that's additional good news. The industry cluster analysis continues to move forward. The article that you have attached to your packet was submitted to the Canby Herald as part of setting the framework for Manufacturing Day, which you hosted at your city council meeting last week. We hope to have additional information in addition to maps at our November meeting. This will also be information that we talk about with our community response team to talk about how can we build on our industry clusters and how do our various partners have a role in that piece. So all of this is the foundation for our economic development plan, which you'll be seeing in early next year. Taking advantage of our new capacity in GIS at our staff, at our planning staff, we have 12 hours of additional capacity recently added, and she'll be working on maps for our Canby Pioneer Industrial Park, partly to help us understand all the complexities of it, but also to help market it better, and to partner with Clackamas County, which is adding a industrial lands layer to their website marketing as well. So not only is Canby being marketed at the local level on the city website, it's being marketed will be marketed with Clackamas County. It's also just recently marketing industrial sites at the Greater Portland Inc., which is the regional economic development business recruitment arm for the Portland metro area, as well as the state. So Canby's getting a lot of opportunities to market its industrial sites. And then finally, we had great artistic talent brought forward in our artistic banner call, which ended September 15th. And we've narrowed down, I think, about 50 entries to about 30 that we will be having printed up on vinyl banners that will be weatherproof and on display on 1st and 2nd Avenue. So we're very excited about that. So also want to draw your attention to the 3rd page. There had been some questions and interest about the Canby Pioneer Industrial Park and the number of businesses and how many acres are vacant versus developed and what's in the urban renewal district and what's not in the urban renewal district. So I had done some additional work on that to determine when the various buildings were constructed. So the ones that were prior to the urban renewal district, which was formed in 1999, were BBC Steel, which is also outside the city limits, but in the Canby Pioneer Industrial Park. And Shimadzu, the first phase, they've since added 54,000 square feet this year. So here you have up-to-date information. And the bottom line is that a lot of the development that's happened in the Pioneer Industrial Park has been since 1999, and it's created substantial assessed value, over $74 million in assessed value, estimated jobs of over 800, and that represents 17 companies. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Just one little
Good
note on
news.
the BBC Steel, you did notate that it was outside the city limits, but
Yes.
I don't see that notation for American Steel. It's also outside.
No, it's in the city
It's in the
limits.
city
Is it in the
limits.
city limits? The BC Steel next door isn't?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
kind
Yeah,
of-
they did
It's
a.
weird.
They
That
did
is
a-
weird, okay.
They wanted to stay out years ago for business
right.
purposes.
I just assumed being that it's further out, and, okay, thank you.
Vice Chairman, the Driscoll partnership with Kendall, I think, is a fantastic thing to hear about. If you guys aren't familiar with, they're a produce company, and they do, I think, probably the most amazing strawberries out there on the market. So if any way we can get Greg, and you guys can work on a relationship on getting some of that fruit, that would
Maybe we
be
can
great.
have some flowers to go with it too.
Well, I think we should have a fruit sampling here, I'm just saying out loud, you know, so, yeah. But they're a great company, and I think it'll be a great addition out there in here in Canby, so.
I think when Dragonberry gets out there too, it'll be another plus. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a cluster going in that group there, so. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I just want to say I met with Amy Nguyen yesterday from Dragonberry. She's going to start breaking ground here within the next 2 weeks,
Great.
she said. And I told her that it was customary that council got to sample the wares.
Now, are you including yourself in that council
Well,
comment?
I'm in council and staff.
Okay, all right, I thought you were.
And she said, no problem. Anyway, so.
Can't
yeah,
leave the chamber out either though.
That's
Yeah.
good. Exactly.
Go ahead.
Renata, remind me now, GIS is Geographic Information Systems?
Exactly. And you may recall that the city has been inching toward having a much better internal system, and we've been working with a consultant to develop what's called GeoMoose, which internally would allow departments to access all kinds of information for planning purposes. And then a lot of that, the part that's not violating confidentiality, will also be available online for anyone to see. So it's a great marketing tool for other businesses that are looking at Canby, as well as residents that are looking to move here, that want to understand more about the community. A lot of cities do have interactive GIS systems on their website. Oregon City has an excellent one. Clackamas County has one. So we're very excited that Canby will have one too.
Well, I was thinking, and Tracy's question points it out, that our boundaries aren't exactly logical in some places. I remember taking a look at the map for the Hope Village annexation, and also coming into planning department and asking them about a particular property out up near, well, I think it may have been around the Wygant property. And there was a pause because it depended exactly where the location was. And we've got so many overlays in terms of property being zoned, for example, the Wygant property being zoned agricultural, but being in our urban reserve, as I understand it. So from a policy-making standpoint, it's going to speed up our ability to do the what-ifs. You know, is this land outside, well, first of all, is this land in the city limits? If it's not, what's it zoned? If it's not, is it in our urban reserve that we could bring it in? So it really is a huge leap forward. So I compliment city administration for finding the resources to squeak out 12 hours of GIS service.
I think to go along with that, GIS was really started just for streets and, putting in sewer lines and stuff to kind of track that one. But I really think it's neat that people have taken it the next steps and done the overlays and done marketing with that. I think it's a way of the future that we can definitely make Canby, more on the map even than we have it. So I think it'd be great. You can do great.
And also be thinking of it as a tool for you as you think through various policies. And if you have particular requests for information, maybe there's some ways we can provide maps and data to help support your decision-making process. So let us know if there's something we can do to help you on that.
We need all the help we can get.
I have a new item of business I'd like to bring up. I apologize to Brian and Randy for not being at the debate last night, but I attended the last session of this birthday party for the library. And we had the Canby Women's Civic Club presentation and found that real interesting. What they did was they went back in the minutes in 1930 and recreated it, and these women came dressed in the garb for that period of time, conducted their meeting, and they took a roll call, and they had people in the audience with slips of paper. When they said, Mrs. Gold, she'd say, I'm here, and they go through the whole thing. Anyway, through the presentation, they were talking about planting the trees on First Street and so forth. And I was sitting back, and it was all women there, except myself. I didn't have very many people. But anyway, they got to the point, and I thought, well, I had this certificate I wanted to give Peggy that showed a picture with the trees and without the trees. So I sat there listening to it, and then finally they kept saying, about the trees, planting, about caring for them, and on and on. And then these women got up in the quartet from the Sweet Adelines and sang a song that had to do with progress, which was written back in that time. So anyway, it got to the point when I had to make my presentation like that. I said, as president of the city council, I said, I just apologize. We had to take those trees out. The reason why they died was because they had paving there and they couldn't breathe. And so, but we assure you that we're going to put them back. And big applause. So anyway, I thought this was interesting. That I told them, I said, we ought to have that quartet when we have the grand opening on First Street, because this would tie into that. And they were dressed up for that, and it was really impressive. And I said, I'm going to follow through on it, because it was really something, particularly the song they sang about being progress and so forth. And I thought that's just fitting for First Street. So it's a great thing. So I hope to see the debate on TV. And
It follows this, so for you and everyone else who missed it last night, as soon as this meeting wraps up, they're going to air
Star-studded night. So.
our candidate forum following this meeting.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
Race home.
Greg, have you got?
I hate to prolong it, I know everybody's anxious to get home and watch that, but Sue put on the back of the agendas a little advertising. Oh, in the audience, sorry.
Yours is special.
Yeah, we're special. But it's a great idea, and on the back of it, you'll see she's got the community visioning advertised, and there's meetings on the 16th, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, all at the police station, all 7 to 9. And I've been sending you the emails, I believe, that talks about what they're going to talk about. At the October 16th, it'll be Transportation and Public Safety. October 22nd, it'll be the Community Group, talking about community. And on October 23rd, it's Parks and Recreation.
Thanks.
And on October 24th, it'll be Development. So, and November 15th, again, I think, I've scheduled for another large group meeting, which will be at Town Hall above Cutsforce. So I've been sending these out. We got another one before this week's out, reminding of the meeting next Tuesday. Getting a lot of interest, and I think a lot of people getting excited about this, so I'm really glad to see that. And a week from tonight, at the council meeting, there will be a group called the Pitch Pipers. And they're going to sing, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to sing God Bless America and the national anthem. So
Great.
Should be well worth the price of admission. I think we're $2 is the
Cover.
that work? $1.90.
I think it was really great that Greg managed to get those guys to, at our first visioning meeting, to get those guys to come up and sing, and they basically started talking with Greg and myself and said, hey, we want to be a little more involved in the community, so we said, come on ahead.
Yeah, I think it was a terrific way to start off what thousands of cities across the country have done, and do it in a way that's different and special. So I applaud you. And also, Sue, you just never stop amazing me. This type of co-op marketing is something that cities pay consultants big bucks to say, how can we get information out in clever ways? You get the Clever Award tonight. That's terrific. Thank you.
It is good. Yeah. That's all I have.
Great, okay.
Thank you.
Moving right along here, I guess that,
Nobody, audience?
I guess, have one last time for citizen input, if anybody'd like to come up. Not?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Daniels and seconded by Commissioner Hodson to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
That's a 6-0. Good night, Camby.
Hot popcorn.